All right, this is me coming in at the end after I filmed this whole battle. I just wanted to say, so these Primaris Marines I've been testing out, first I started them, they were Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 5, Strength 5, Toughness 5 in the very first game where they, first test game where they went against Seth Rel's gang, Seth Rel's, Arbites. In this game, I decreased them from Ballistic Skill 5 and Weapon Skill 5 to making them both 4. So, Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 4, still Strength and Toughness 5. And after this game, after I'd finished it, I realized I needed to also decrease the Primaris Marines down to Strength 4, Toughness 4. Because the 5 was too much with a specific rule. And so I'll talk about that in just a second when I go over the 4 special rules they have that all Space Marines come with. Just show you these stats for the Space Marines. I've got a Space Marine hero, which is like the leader, the champion, which is like your heavy, or your, can take special weapons and whatnot, and then your brothers, which are your basic guys. Anyways, they're all having no fear, which is essentially you don't have to test for you don't have to leadership test if someone goes down within 2 inches of you. And no fear also lets them ignore fear, stupidity, and they can always test to recover from pinning. At the beginning of a turn, they don't have to be within 2 inches of a friendly model. So the next ability, Bolter Drill, is when they're firing any bolt weapon. Doesn't matter as long as it's got bolt in the name and it's like a bolt gun weapon. They're rolling a sustained fire dice to see how many shots they get from that. And if they haven't specified, but I'm just adding a sustained fire die if the gun already has sustained fire, like heavy bolters. So just add a sustained fire die on top of what you're already rolling for that gun. Enhanced physique. Let's see. Alright, so I had MIU, which pretty much negates the initiative penalties you get from wearing power armor. The MIU interfaces more with your body and nervous system, and so ignores the heavy power armor's initiative penalty. Enhanced physique does the same thing, so the Space Marines ignore the initiative penalty from power armor, and it also gives them the bulging bicep skill. So I'm just realizing this now. I didn't see the enhanced physique, so I'm going to need to probably readjust the Space Marines again. Essentially, they'll be hitting on strength way too strong. Strength 6, because bulging biceps gives you +1 strength in hand-to-hand combat. So I may have to push these guys down. I may have to get rid of the strength 5. And well, we'll see. I'll talk about that later. Alright, and the last ability all the Space Marines have is True Grit. Pretty basic one. Instead of when you take injury rolls, instead of taking a flesh wound on just a roll of 1, it's a 1 or 2. So it makes your chances 1 in 3%, 1 in 3 chance of getting a flesh wound. Pretty good. So you can see I've got the basic Space Marine brother. Again, these strength and toughness 5. Now that I know they all have this enhanced physique, I'm gonna have to probably adjust that and mess with some of the whatnot. Anyways, this is the basic stat line I had. For the champion, it's about 30 points more. You're getting a 1 free not stat increase, but level up pretty much, where you get either a new ability or a stat increase for your champion if you're paying the extra 30. and he gets access to special weapons and whatnot then. And then for the leader, it's an extra 60. The base Primaris Marine is going to be 300, so extra 60. He also gets a free level up upgrade, and he also gets a free +1 leadership to leadership 9, and has access to the special weapons also. So that's all I got to say. So I had no plans to film any of this game, but it just turned out to be really cool so far, and I just had a moment. I thought I would show it off for a second. I've got, this is one of my test games, testing the Space Marine rules I'm writing, and this is the Space Marine team I'm currently most concerned about, which is the 3 Primaris, Astartes, with the 2 wounds and strength 5, toughness 5. So anyways, I put one of my Inquisition warbands with the three Sisters of Battle, and a couple Psychers. The Inquisitor, or the whatever you call him, is also a Psycher. Very close combat oriented leader, and then a Psychic lady to go buff her, and Sisters of Battle with bolt guns, pretty much. Let's see, what else do I have to say? Anyways, I'm going to be testing the Primaris, this team, Primaris Astartes, against 3 teams, starting with these guys, and then we'll do probably the Marshal Sethrel's team, the Arbites, which had a tough time. That'll be a rematch on a smaller board. And then right after that, we'll do the Pit Fighter gang that fought the that I tested the Blood Angels against. And they'll all be going up against these Primaris guys, and I'm going to see if they're just way too overpowered, so check in with that. Let people know how it went. And I just want to talk about my tactics I'm using for going against the Astartes, because they all have one very important thing. I debuffed the Astartes, so they're all, instead of weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, they are all now Primaris, and Firstborn are all weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4. So nowhere near as accurate as the always hitting on 2s kind of stuff. It's better this way. So some of these guys do have ballistic skill and weapon skill 5. They got it from upgrades though. From leveling up their that's all I have to say. But going up against them, I'm trying to have this sister kind of flank, pull this guy away, make him worry about her. But I'm keeping her hidden, trying to move her up slowly, keep her hidden. Also get some, range on these guys coming up. This Psyker, not our leader, but the lady right here, got a great turn 1, hallucinate on this guy, which works as a hallucinogen grenade, automatically affecting them. And what happened with him? It was something that would have made him, automatically break and run, 2d6 inches back, which would make him go off the board. So I didn't do that. I didn't let him get away that easily. He just stayed in place and lost his first turn of movement. These guys have moved up a bit already, and this White Scar has fired on our Inquisitor already. She was here, got fired on and pinned, and was scooted over here. So our Sisters of Battle just advancing. This lady's staying hidden until she gets some good range for her psychic powers. And this Sister of Battle I had kind of covering this way in case Space Marines tried to charge up around here. She can also see this, so if anyone comes through those arches, she'll be able to get Overwatch on them. And that's all so far. This was the end of their second turn, going into Space Marines' turn 2. So I'll check in again in a few turns. Alright, so this guy ran up on his turn. Yeah, these guys moved up too, did some shit. This lady's not trying to engage this guy one-on-one, especially because his gun is a lot longer range. So she's hidden and on Overwatch, hoping someone will move so she can fire at them. And over here, yeah, this guy jumped out to take some shots, but got blasted by his sister who was on Overwatch. So he got pinned. This guy then charged up, blasted the sister who shot, and she got pinned. Yeah, a bunch of that back and forth stuff, but everyone survived so far. And then we moved up a bit. She fired, missed. Our Inquisitor moved up, tried to boil blood of this guy through the tree. She doesn't need line of sight for boil blood, so she tried it. Failed. Was not. I mean, she passed the psychic test, but was not able to boil him. And then this lady passed her test to do hallucinate, and she cast it on this guy. So after the boil blood failed, he hallucinated, and he is now thinks he's got shit crawling on him. He's pinned. Astartes can normally test to unpin at the beginning of their turn, but this psychic power force pins him for his turn. He cannot test to not be pinned, so that's kind of cool. That's why I got the psychic marker on him. And that's where I'm at going into Space Marine's turn 3. Right, so the Space Marine turn was not great. This guy was force pinned. This guy failed his unpinning, his chance to unpin. Neither of them could do anything for their turn. This guy moved up. This lady's hidden, so he couldn't shoot at her. But he turned, fired at our Inquisitor, who was just out here in the open, and he missed. Really unfortunate. Bad luck for them. But now we're going into the Inquisition turn, getting a chance to counter. She's going to, whatever it is, the hallucinate on him, so he won't be able to keep shooting. Maybe that'll let this sister take advantage of that situation. Oh, these ladies moved up. Neither of them are pinned anymore. Getting ready to open up on these guys. And our Inquisitor was able to run up, get within 2 of this guy, and is using the boil blood. So within 2 is where boil blood is the strongest. Hopefully we'll get it off and gets a wound on this guy. I thought I'd just show off the rules for boil blood for a second. You can see it right here. You can read it, pause it if you want. It's pretty cool, but pretty much the most you can get is -5. You want more negative modifiers for this. So when you're as close as 2 inches, which is the closest range, you get -5, which is the max negative modifiers you can get for this. I'm rolling 2d6, subtracting 5. Alright, so I can pretty much take away that dice. So 7 minus 5 is 2. And as long as what the outcome is less than, so underneath the toughness, it can't be equal to or less than, it has to be less than. So these guys are toughness 5. That means I have to roll 4, or it would have to come out to be 4. -5 for that, so ends up being 2, and I get the wound on this guy. Very nice. No armor save. Boil blood just goes right through that. Wow. So this turn's been pretty wild. Got the wound on him with the boil blood, which is very nice. He's wounded and pinned, has 1 wound left. These ladies both fired at him. Both totally missed. Terrible. And then our other psyker here used hallucinate on this guy over here. And hallucinate has like a 36-inch range, just so you know. And we rolled the best possible outcome. This is the hallucinogen grenade chart, which is what we're rolling on. And we rolled 6. Victim lapses into a mindless state for the remainder of the game. immediately taken out of action. So we don't even need to. That's 2 wounds of power armored Space Marine at strength toughness 5 taken out just from a lucky roll on the hallucinogen tart. Knocked out and unconscious by the psychic powers. That was really lucky. All right. Great. So here's what the board's going to look like after that. Cleared out this side. Whew. This lady is so glad she didn't have to face off against that Space Marine. We might have a chance of beating these guys. It's looking good for the Inquisition today. Alright, I did mess up here just a little. Oh, that was really close. I ran my Inquisitor and then used a psychic power. Now, the way I'm reading it, or playing it at least, interpreting the rules is your psychic power you're using in place of shooting. And therefore, you have to be able to shoot to be able to set off the psychic power. So, anyways, if you run, can't use your psychic power. So she should have only been able to walk and use the boil blood, which would make her further away, which would make the boil blood harder to get off. So I'm going to re-roll that right now. Move her back 4 inches, re-roll the boil blood from the correct distance. Right, so I'll take this stuff off too because, anyways, we will see right now whether that boil blood goes off. So rolling 2d6 and our modifier is -3 because we're within 6 inches. All right, let's see. That's pretty lucky. That's a really low roll. So -3 is going to take us down to 1. 1 is definitely less than their toughness of 5, and so even though our Inquisitor wasn't quite as close as we thought, the Space Marine is still taking the wound and being pinned. Alright, let's jump into the Space Marine turn 4. I think this is, I think it's turn 4, I'm pretty sure. And they're missing more than, they lost that one guy to that psychic power, and now we have to roll every turn to see if they run away. Their highest leadership is 8, and 8 is just what they have. Great. Alright, first thing, we're going to try and recover from pinning early on this guy. He makes it. Alright, this is the Space Marine movement. Our Space Wolf has charged up, even though he's got 1 wound left, taking on both of these Sisters of Battle here. And this guy has walked up, ready to take some shots. I'm still recording. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Now, I'm realizing one more thing. This lady on Overwatch, I checked. She could see Space Wolf Bro before he charged, and I was making note of that in my head. I was like, oh, if he moves, when he moves on his turn, I'm going to light him up right away. So we're going to play out her shots like they went off before he charged into these 2 ladies, all right? So she's hitting on 3s normally. The Space Marine had, it's -2. He had some hard cover, for sure hard cover. So going to hitting on, no, I'm sorry. These ladies are hitting on 4, so going to 5, 6. And Overwatch, I think, is an additional -1. Let me check that. Yeah, oh man, we're getting an additional 2. So it's going, we're already hitting on 6s. Overwatch, so going to hitting on 7s. And this bro was charging, so going all the way to hitting on 8s. Let's see what we have to do. We'd have to roll a 6, and then we'd need to roll, that's not it, sorry. Here it is, 7+ to hit. So we need to roll a 6, and then an additional 5+ to hit him. Come on, let's see that 6. Nope. Alright, so he makes it into combat with them. This guy's now going to do his shooting. Shooting into the Inquisitor right there. Short range for sure. Let's see. There is, let's check out the cover. pretty much no cover. Not a good spot. Alright. Hitting on 2s. That's a hit. Oh. I forgot the Astartes rolling there. There we go. There's another shot going off from that bolt gun. 2 hits on the Inquisitor. Ooh, looking bad. Wounding on 3s. That's 1 wound. And the 3+ armor save going down to a 4. Whew. Our Inquisitor's down, it looks like, or at least injured. Alright, let's do the injury roll for her. Oh, flesh wound. That is, we're getting lucky. We're not having anybody go down yet. Alright, so she is pinned and has a flesh wound there. I switched this guy's out, his 1 dice out for that thing as a wound counter. So he just done his shot. I can't believe she survived that. That was really lucky. And then we'll do the combat in just a sec. So here's the last bit of that Space Marine combat. He jumped in, took out the Sister of Battle that was here, and then he wounded this lady, flesh wounded her. The Sister of Battle who got taken out had Step Aside. That was one of her skills she got, or the only skill she got from her, whatever her, doesn't matter, but didn't work, did not save her at all, and the armor got cut through by the Strength 5 Space Marine. So now we're going into Inquisition, probably turn 5, I'm assuming. Might be turn 4. Who knows? Alright, so for the Inquisition turn, our Inquisitor was pinned, so she moved back over here. Just 2 inches, scooted around to get some cover from this guy. This lady was in combat by the Inquisimunda version 1.3 rules. You can walk out of combat anytime you want. Your opponent just gets to make an initiative test, and if they pass it, they get 1 free hit at you. So the Space Marine failed his initiative test, and she was able to jump back and take some shots, as well as the Psyker then taking some shots. Nothing happened. The Psyker hit him, the Sister of Battle missed, and the Sister ran up trying to get the 1 objective I put in the middle, so just some loot that they want to take off the board, both sides, get a little bonus, just to diversify the objectives, kind of. Alright, and this is the Space Marines' next movement right here. Our Space Wolf charged into the Inquisitor, and the White Scar moved up to take some shots, finish off the Sister of Battle. Oof, it's not looking so good for the Inquisition anymore. So our White Scar fired at the Sister of Battle here. 3 shots. I think, 2 hit, 1... Anyways, just pinned. Very lucky, very lucky. And I've forgotten something else. The Groundswell psychic ability our Inquisitor has. So before this guy is able to charge, I'll put him just like, I don't remember exactly where he was. I should have done this at the beginning of the turn. He has to take a initiative test to be able to move within 2 inches of her, or to be able to charge her. Otherwise he gets pinned within 2 inches of her. Here's the Groundswell psychic ability. If you want to read it, I'll get my finger out of the way. Alright. And here's the Space Marine initiative test on initiative 4. Ooh, he does not make it. He's got to roll under the 4. So right here, about 2 inches away, is the probably the right spot for him anyways. And Groundswell makes him stop there, cannot finish his charge, and he's pinned. Really good ability. So that probably saved our Inquisitor's life right there, because I'd already rolled out the attacks, and it was not looking good. But I remembered that, went back and did the initiative test, and it saved her. I forget so much stuff, I have to change shit around. But since this guy wasn't able to charge, this guy doesn't really have line of sight on the sister. I'm just going to say he fired at the Inquisitor. They have the same toughness and armor save and everything, so we're just going to say she survived it, but is pinned, and that's just what I'm going to leave it as. And that's the end of the Space Marine's turn. He recovers from pinning at the end of his turn. Alright, so I've just finished the Inquisition's turn. The Inquisitor fell back 2 inches again because she's still pinned. These ladies both shot into the Space Marine and did not get any damage. And that lady ran over, got into close range, also fired, hit him and pinned him, but did not kill him, unfortunately. So now it's back to Space Marines. See if they stick around. Okay, this is the end of the Space Marine turn. Tide is definitely turning in their favor. This guy downs the Inquisitor, gets off 2 shots, downs her. This guy runs into close combat, rolls really poorly, and the sister wins, gets 1 hit, but he's just so much tougher. She's only wounding him on 6s, and she rolls a 5. Almost is able to do some damage, maybe get through his save, but fails. And we'll see what happens. Alright, so this lady passes, or the Space Marine, she backs up. He passes his initiative test, hits her once, but her armor stops it, so she gets to back up, get ready to shoot. This lady moves over here, and her psychic power, hallucinate, goes off before she moved, so she goes there. She's getting ready to do healing hands on that lady probably next turn, but hallucinate on this guy this turn, if this guy gets pinned. And this lady hopefully will help pin him, maybe take him out. We'll see. Alright, so this turn went pretty well for the Inquisition. Her hallucinate psychic ability pinned and force pins this guy for the next turn. He can't recover early. And this Space Marine was shot and downed by the Stormbolter sister. So she had some good shooting there. Let's see. I don't think we even shot with her because this guy's getting cover from her. So that's about it. But I had forgotten the Inquisitor was down and they lost a sister, which means they have lost or downed, had down more than 25% of their warband. And before we had done any of that turn for them, there should have been a leadership test. So I'm going to do that right now. And since our Inquisitor, whose leadership 8 is down, we have to use leadership 7, which is the next highest. So they passed. So all of that turn was good. They went through all that, did not run off. And they're in a pretty good position for next turn because Space Marines can't really do much this turn. Alright, and this is pretty much the whole Space Marine next turn. This guy crawled back. The guy who's pinned is still moving forward 2 inches, hoping he can finish off the Inquisitor. I forgot to take a leadership test for them too, so we're going to do that on leadership 8. 6, and they're good, so they stuck around for that. I'm so unorganized. The turn before the Space Marines did this for the Inquisition, end of the turn I should have had to roll for the Inquisitor, see if she died or not. She's still just down. And end of this Space Marine's turn, we'll roll for him, see what's up. They have True Grit, so flesh wound on a 2 or a 1, but he's still down also. Alright, we're going into the Inquisition turn. She's probably going to use healing hands to try and get her up. That's all I know, and we're going to try and stomp this last Space Marine. Alright, so I had started into the Inquisition turn, and of course, forgetting more things, I didn't do their leadership roll. So I moved a few characters, moved her up to the cover here, moved the Inquisitor, crawled her 2 inches away from the Marines, moved her closer. She brought the loot, and this Psyker I haven't moved yet because I remembered, rolled the leadership test or the bottle roll for them, and they ran out of there. So that was a close game. They took out 2 Space Marines, and didn't lose too many people. 1 person taken out, 1 person down. But they did, and they got the loot. I didn't really go after it with the Space Marines. I probably should have more. But anyways, just test games. So it was relatively close. I mean, the Space Marines takes, a bad roll for sure for them to run away, but they're not impossible to take out, at least with some psychic powers and stuff. I think, obviously, more special weapons, things that are strength 5 and higher, are going to be taking them out easier. I wish the Inquisitor had a chance to get into close combat, because she has some great close combat abilities, and a force sword, anyways. That would have been cool to see, but I'm sure in a future game I'll get a chance to check that out.